But this is what happens when you fly too close to the sun. All you scammers out there, listen to my words. I beseech you. I beseech thee. Right? Just like, bro, know what you when you got it good. All you PPP loan scammers out there, you got the 30K. You got the 50K. Why'd you need the Maybach though? Come on.
Yo, you know,
like some of y'all be trying too much.
you
Millions?
know, yo, oh my God. You know what's so funny about that?
Oh,
Like some of these scammers, like, and I can actually say some stuff, but I'm just gonna keep it. I'm just gonna leave it alone because there's some
do it.
some stuff
No
that I know,
snitching, bruh.
but
No snitching, bruh.
there's some stuff that I know. But like, bruh, what I think is so funny, about that is like some of these scammers that be flexing on the gram, and I'll be like, bruh, like you've already gotten away with like 100 bands.
They coming.
Bro, like,
and now you flexing?
They absolutely come, and now you, bro, and you legit posing with like professional photographers in front of your car, in front of the PJ. We can see your license plate.
Here's my address. Check out my ID.
Look at my house.
I got a VA card now.
And then we go to LinkedIn and we see that it says Burger King. Hey yo,
no, that's wild. That's kind of wild what you just said though. That's kind of wild what you said though. A nigga at Burger King having LinkedIn though. That's kind of crazy. Wait a minute. I applaud you, sir. That one dude out there. I mean, you're not a manager, right? And you work in the cashier at Burger King, but you know what? You got dreams. So you started a LinkedIn. And you know what? Started from the bottom. Bro, I'm looking out for that dude. I'm looking out for that dude. Watch your tail. Bro. That dude started a LinkedIn.
Darwin, what are you doing here?
It's challenge day.
Welcome back, challengers. This is season 1, episode 4 of Challenge Day. I'm that dude Darwin, aka Darwin Darko.
And I'm Jeff, not Jeffrey. Once again, that's Jeff, not Jeffrey. On all our socials, you can check us out at Another Challenge Day. That's at Another Challenge Day. So reach out to us, check us out. You'll find our content there. You know, and we got the goods for you. We got the goods for you. Now, speaking of the goods,
and subscribe.
Absolutely, like, subscribe. Yeah. And speaking of that, there's been a week full of eventful things that's been going on. What you got? What you got going for you? Mm-hmm.
China got this damn balloon. Like this whole thing is crazy from left to right. It's like, oh, this is such a 2023 story. We're gonna talk about that and all the things that's going on with China, and it ties into the whole the war in Ukraine actually too, because you know.
It's interesting.
Russia. So also the George Santos, this dude just does not stop making the news. Every day there's something new about George Santos to discover. But we're gonna go over all his shenanigans, you know, as fast as we can, because this is a lot. It'll take a whole show just for this guy.
Interesting character for sure.
Wildin', right? And then to wrap it up, we're gonna talk about Alec Baldwin. All right, so Alec Baldwin, you know, he's been charged, and you know, is it gonna stand? Is it gonna work? Should he be charged? You know, we're gonna get into that
That's a good question
and figure out how that matters in our own lives. Actually, there's a correlation, so we'll get into that when we get on our main section. But it's Challenge Day, so Jeff, floor is yours.
Yeah, so I'll be honest with you, man. There isn't like a real challenge that I can really speak on.
You got life on easy mode? Is that what we're talking about? You got life on easy mode?
You know, sometimes you go through weeks where it's like, okay, I finally had a week where I didn't have to like a good week. I finally had a good week where I wasn't shot at, or nice. Or I wasn't cut off in the road. Like sometimes you have those weeks, man, where like things kind of fall in place and fall in order,
you know what?
you don't have no real issues. So
You
it's
know
not
what?
really anything I can think of right now.
I'll give you one.
Yeah.
Even with what you said, sometimes it's a challenge to, because I've had that.
Yeah.
I've had that, and it's like, but I'm still like, when is it gonna happen? When is it gonna happen?
Paranoia.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop.
Yeah.
So that in and of itself is kind of like a challenge, at least for me. Like when I have those kind of moments, maybe you're better at it than I am, but it's like when it's good, like to be able to like live in that moment.
Yeah.
And to be like, it's good. Relax, bro. You're safe.
Yeah.
You're fine. You know what I mean? You're fed. You know what I mean? You're sheltered. Like you don't have the worries of really like, is my world going to come crumbling down? Like you can accept that, and it's okay to accept that. So, hey, shouts out to you for being able to, conquer that already. But for me, I still be a little bit on edge when stuff be going fucking too good.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's also the difference that we have as far as perspective, because there may have been challenges that I experienced this week, but I just didn't notice it.
But you know what I wonder about that is, because it could also be like, because
I think it's a half glass empty, half glass full kind of thing.
Maybe, but I'm just thinking like, if you're, sometimes people let stuff roll off their back all the time to where like they build up a callousness.
That's true.
They build up a callousness and they're like, oh, they don't really feel it because they just like develop such a shell to like, well, shit's always going to go wrong for me anyway. So like when it goes wrong, you're like, that's just true. Your new normal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I don't know. Do you think you think that maybe for yourself, do you feel like you have a tough exterior? So like these things don't, like something that would like devastate somebody else and be a challenge for somebody else is not for you? It doesn't happen for you? Or
I think
about that.
I think that's an excellent question. I would say that probably was more of my mindset when I was younger, like around my college years. And just those years, oh man, because those years were hard. Like from college to like really like transitioning into like full adulthood and really like being on my own. I mean, since technically I kind of been on my own for a while anyways, but like just really figuring out what you're gonna do with your life and how you're gonna sustain yourself, and obviously being able to afford a place to live and all these different things, responsibilities and all that stuff.
Yeah. But those are those Maslow's hierarchy of needs kind of thing where it's like,
absolutely.
The basics. Do I have food? Do I have shelter?
Yeah.
So of course, during those formidable years, it's like, bro, I'm trying to freaking get a check.
Bro, listen,
I'm trying to get a check. I'm trying to get point A to point B. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Absolutely. And that's a fact. Like I think I absolutely thought that way for sure when I was younger. I would say in the past several years where I've gotten to a place where I'm able to like pay my bills on time. I don't have to use a credit card to make payments.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like if I want to order something, I can go order something. If I want to go to a restaurant, I can do that without stressing about the check. I ain't got to be like making calculations in my mind. Like if I just do this and I move this around, I ain't got to do that no more.
I don't mean to laugh. But people are really living like that, bro.
I'm trying to. It's real.
No, but like not that you did, but I was living like that.
Yeah,
you know
of course.
So like, bro,
I was living like that for 85% of my life. Like,
you know,
keep it a bean.
We just like it's a thing where like we just make it over the horizon, and you just like just now seeing what it's like for regular people. So like, one of the things is I have friends who still would not use auto pay just in case. Would not use auto pay.
Bro, I got everything on auto pay, bro. I ain't gonna hold you. But the thing is, I understand their mindset though, because I was there. I was there.
Yo, I used to be so mad when Bank of America. I used to like bank with them. Like that was my first bank account back in the day, right? Yeah. And I used to get mad. I guess when like they have the thing where you have overdraft protection, right? So it's like,
oh my God,
you swipe your card for Gatorade somewhere, and you got the Gatorade. It's approved.
Yep.
You walking on your way. You swinging that bit down. You ain't savoring it for the $30 Gatorade that it is, because that's what the overdraft protection fee was.
Yeah.
Every time they did the fee, they hit you with the $30 fee for the overdraft protection.
Absolutely.
It's a $30 Gatorade drinking now, bro. If I would have known, I would have been like, yo, this is just like Ciroc or something. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I would have enjoyed it that much better, but it's like, I was like, yo, why can't you just turn that bitch off and just say decline? Just say decline. Like, I'm really just trying to put like $5 of gas in my car. Trying to put $5. Like, bro, just say decline. Tell him he ain't got it. You don't need this Gatorade today. You don't need that $5 gas today.
No, bro. Take that Gatorade, bro. Don't worry about it. You good. You good. Take that Gatorade, bro.
You sure? You sure? Me? I got it. You know, all right, cool. Walking on my merry way. No, they hit you upside the head with that feed. What you was thinking,
bro?
You know
they like pool sharks for real. They're like sharks for real. These banks, bro. These banks are like sharks for real, bro.
Yeah, so I get it.
They play. I
get it. Why you wouldn't want to put your shit on auto pay, right?
Yep. Absolutely.
But that's just all to say how sometimes when you do have some wins, we should take some time to celebrate the wins.
Absolutely.
Live in that moment and just like accept it that you like, because that's the point. We're working for this, aren't we?
We're
working to get for these type of goals, right? So it's like you did it. Not that to say we're at the finish line, but it's like you hit a milestone. That's a good thing. Celebrate.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Live in that moment. Do better for yourself. Love yourself better. If you can treat yourself a little bit more, you know what I mean? Every once in a while, maybe just buy that thing or go to that dinner or see that show that you probably wouldn't have done before because you was in a different situation. Man, your situation different. It's okay. You'll be fine. You know what I'm saying?
You shouldn't. And this is something that I was thinking about earlier. You should be setting a new standard for yourself,
right?
Like every so often, you know what I'm saying? Like I've attained this level. Okay, what's next? Like I should, you know what I'm saying? Like I should be able to continue to do this so that I am consistently on an incline and not like dipping or like on a.
But no, sometimes you have fallbacks. You know what I mean? But,
it does. But those fallbacks
can lead to a good comeback.
Exactly. But those dips, but like they'll even tell you this even with the stock market. Even if you see some dips, as long as you see like it's still steadily progressing, even with dips, that's a good investment. Because at the end of the day, like investing is not without its risk.
Sure.
Right?
It's a long-term view, especially
a long-term view.
If you have for yourself a long-term view, you'll notice that your progression is like increasing. Though when you zoom in and you see some really bad segments in there, you know, oh, that was nasty. I took a tumble. You know what I mean? I went back 2 steps, but your trajectory was still, you know what I mean? So just like hang in there, enjoy the wins, you know what I mean? And set a new standard for yourself and just keep making higher goals. So I feel that message, you know what I'm saying? For me, the goal would be for the world to get better fucking customer service.
Absolutely.
Like, bruh,
absolutely.
It's an industry. It's an established industry, customer service. All right. And I worked customer service too. You know what I mean? I've worked it sucks. It's boring. You know, and people are always upset at you and stuff like that, even though you really don't have the power. I get all that, right?
Isn't that so crazy that most of the time you don't even really have the power to like resolve those issues, but you take it.
And people just be like, take this, take that, you bastard. It's all your fault. And I hope your children don't hug you tonight. You know what I'm saying?
Like, bro, I'm just here so I don't get fined, bro. Like, it's not even
that. Yo, so it's like, I don't want to come at them like that, but meet me somewhere in between. And by that, I mean, act like you give a fuck. Just act like you give a little bit of a fuck. Like, I always say,
we know you don't really care, but at least act like.
This is what I'm saying. I think there should be a legislation, federal, and we should be amending the Constitution for this. We should pay everybody in customer service. Everybody in customer service, we're gonna pay them all an extra $1. Pay them all an extra $1 an hour. $1 an hour, an extra, whatever you make it. You make it $30 an hour, pay them an extra, pay 31. If they're making 15, pay them 16. Whatever they're getting paid. And here's what it is. You pay them $1 an hour extra, and you tell them the stipulation of you getting hired here.
Yeah.
That extra $1, because you know what I'm saying? People say like, oh, I don't get paid to care. No. Actually, that $1 is for you to care. That's it. That's all that dollar is for. It's for you do so you get paid to care. Pay me an extra dollar. You got a raise just for you to give a little bit of a fuck. So here's what's going on. Like, I'm not gonna single out who I was talking to in terms of customer service, but I'm gonna say this. And I've adopted this for myself. Everybody should not have to do what I'm doing when it comes to customer service. I have become the fucking horse whisperer of customer service agents. I've become the customer service whisperer. Like, I know all the right questions to ask, all the bro, if you're not asking follow-up questions when you talk to customer service, they are laughing at you on the other end when they hang on. Can you believe he didn't even ask me how much? I just told him it was a fee. You know, something like that. You know, people not even. So I'm going deep with them, and I'm like, okay, wait. So you're saying this, and you're using this particular word. Now, I don't know exactly what you mean by that word. Explain to me what you mean by that word. And this is how I'm talking to customer service people, because I know they're trying to pull a fucking fast one on me. You know what I'm saying? And so you shouldn't have to
hit them with interview questions though, bro. That's good. These are shorties in high school.
But I'm trying to get something solved for my life.
Yeah, I got you.
For me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This is not like
you may be expecting a little bit too much though.
Because they're not getting paid that extra dollar. So you're right. So I have to. So that puts it on me. So I have to be a really well-informed customer, right? To know how to do this interaction to make sure I get the answers right. This one person told me something was. This one person told me something was in review, right? And then I called back some other day later, and this other person told me that, well, your application for this thing is in, but it's not technically in review until all of the supporting documents are in. Now, that first person told me my stuff was in review.
Yeah, that's inconsistent information.
And so the thing is, if my stuff is in review, I get a longer timeline because it's in the review process.
Yes.
But that timeline does not occur until I'm actually in
the review process.
Yeah. Right? So I was like, they didn't tell me that. You see? And so I had to know all the, so I'm like, dog, I had to really interrogate these bastards so I can get the right answers stuff. But that's because the first person didn't really give a fuck. So they just gave me the general, it's in review, you get this thing, right?
This is another thing you have to consider. The second person that you spoke to, right? They're seeing the notes, if there are any notes, from the first person that you spoke to.
No, that's bullshit.
No, hold on,
I'm calling out now.
No, you gotta let me land. No, let me land. You gotta let me land. This is what I'm gonna say about this. I think what also happens is sometimes, and I think this happened often for me, like in my experience dealing with customer service and representatives in different industries. They realize that, oh crap, the first person didn't do their due diligence.
Maybe.
So now
they pump faking. Now they on the phone faking with me.
So now I gotta like figure out a way to like relay this information to this guy that the first guy didn't do their job. So I was just saying that to like, you may want to think about that as well. They could be like,
so I'm thinking about that. I'm thinking about it. And that's what that's what brings to my last point about this is that when they tell you, bruh, they put, we're putting it in the notes. Click. We're gonna put. Would you say it again? How you spell that? Okay, I'm putting it in the notes for you right now. And then the next person that I get, like John Travolta.
Yeah,
I'm not seeing any notes here, sir. I'm like, it's in the notes.
Yeah,
this is their firstborn. Yeah, it's gonna be in the notes. I do want to follow up on something from last time. I kept saying police immunity. I couldn't remember the term. The term I was looking for was qualified immunity.
Okay.
Right? So that's what is, shelter or saving some of these individual police officers from being liable when they do some fucked up shit to people, right? What qualified immunity does, it gives, unless so this covers the local officials, your governors, your your state reps and stuff like that, from personal liability, if unless what they did is established, is violate an established, is clearly, quote, clearly established constitutional right. So that word clearly does a lot of heavy lifting when it comes to that, right? Because it's like clearly according to who, right? And so I think part of it is also clearly according to a reasonable person of that same job category. So like the average cop, for example, I'd be like, the average cop would react this way, or the average it could be like an official for the state park. You know what I mean? An average state park person would do this particular rule at the state park for everybody else. You know what I mean? So it's like, that is like the establishment. So if that's the bar, then that's easy to clear. Could just be like, yeah, every cop would feel like they were in danger in that particular state. But
sure,
here's why the distinction really matters, is because disqualified immunity is what really shelters the individual cop, right? And the solution that I was offering up last time was specifically talking about the collective, right? It was really talking about how do we hold each other accountable for cops, right?
Yep.
So even with qualified immunity, this is just for personal liability, but that doesn't stop certain cops from being bystanders, because that still just targets the individual cop. My solution was to charge the police pension.
Yes.
The police pension affects everybody. So regardless of qualified immunity, if you make the police pension, because this is what happens, is those cops, even if they're found liable in pretty much 99% of jurisdictions, the city either caps what the individual cop has to pay, or they pay it all for that cop outright, right? They'll cap, be like, oh, the individual police officer only has to pay up to $25,000, right? And everything else in the city. Because so if you get a thing for, a judgment for $3 million, $9 million, that's coming out of the general budget, for the whole city. So now there goes that new school y'all supposed to build. There goes the freaking plowing of those roads when the snow drops. You know what I mean? There goes that park that's not maintained now, and now the trails are all crappy. Whatever service that you're using, that's less money that's going to that, but going off to paying off the lawsuit that this dude who's just propping up white supremacy just caused this extra bill on the freaking city. And again, like I mentioned last time, it's the individuals that pay the taxes that pay this. So it's like I'm paying my own freaking, reimbursement. So that's just a quick callback on that one. The term is qualified immunity. Let's get rid of it nationwide. That's what I say.
I think there's also a strange thing that police departments even have a budget for something like that.
They get their shit increased every year.
Yeah, every year. And it's like, there's almost like an expectation that there will be these type of situations where obviously the police department can be sued because of gross negligence or some cop doing something stupid. And I think it's obviously liability kind of thing, because it's a job that requires a great deal of discretion. So it is smart to at least have some kind of legal and monetary backing, just in case some cop want to, be out running around like it's Wild Wild West kind of thing. Unfortunately, that's the majority of the police departments that I hear running around like it's Halo or something. So, and they're all in the blue squad. If you know, you know what I'm saying. If you know what I'm saying.
a thin blue squad. It's a thin blue squad.
Thin blue squad, yeah.
Right.
So yeah. So I just wanted to throw that out there.
Did you have any update at all?
No, because as far as like an update, yeah, I did have an update. So in regards to this AP African American course, African American Studies AP course,
Florida man,
and obviously, yeah, in Florida. There's like an article that talks about that actually was recently revised, and it talks a little bit about essentially what had to be done as far as like how this course was changed because of the backlash. Backlash really coming from DeSantis. So it's not like, and probably, obviously his supporters, but really the loudest voice obviously is Governor DeSantis. So being in Florida. And one of the biggest issues was his issue with critical race theory and pretty much any topic that he felt could essentially be salacious and radical.
Have you ever read Between the World and Me by Ta-Nehisi Coates?
I've heard about that book. I've never read it though.
Would you think that's a book that should be burned? Should be erased from history in the libraries?
I don't think so.
All schools. Do you think it's that incendiary? You think it's the Mein Kampf of Black America?
Yeah, it's just another ploy to, as we mentioned this before, it's another ploy to whitewash. But that's
one of those books that was banned by Santos.
Yeah.
Part of the curriculum was going to include Between the World and Me, and they canceled that.
What's crazy about that is that that would create a slippery slope, right? Because it's like, what you're gonna ban now, Toni Morrison? You're gonna start banning Maya Angelou, like you know what I'm saying? You're gonna start banning
they banned Bell Hooks.
Yeah, they banned Bell. So you're gonna start banning Langston, like you know what I'm saying? Like Langston Hughes, like it's like, come on, bro. Like
at what point we're gonna realize it's just blackness, bro? If the blackness is just too poignant, nah, bro, we can't be having that.
Yeah,
we need that bit to be digestible.
Yeah,
for the white, palate.
Absolutely.
At least in Florida.
Yeah,
that's what they tell you in Florida.
We might need raisins in that potato salad, but black folks say we ain't putting raisins in that potato salad, so they're gonna have to take it. They're gonna have to take it out. They take it.
But that's what we're trying to do. But
nonprofit maintains it did not purge the curriculum of key lessons concerning Black feminism and gay Black Americans. It also acknowledged a reduction in the breadth of the new framework. Of the units that appeared in the pilot course, those about intersectionality. So that's another thing I wanted to mention as well. It says intersectionality and activism, Black feminist literary thought, and Black queer studies are not in the final curriculum. So we obviously know how Republicans feel about that. The framework also
about feminism. Yeah, I think so.
But feminism and
Black feminism, especially.
Yeah. I mean, it's that's the whole thing. So we go a whole tangent there, but that's the whole thing. And obviously we all have different stances about that, but that's just, obviously that's going to be a part of it. The framework also drops its exploration of the origins, mission, and global influence of the movement for Black lives. Instead, Black Lives Matter is listed alongside Black conservatism as a sample course project labeled illustrative only. So it's almost like they got electives for some of these these issues that have been in the news lately.
About it. It's an AP course. It's not like everybody's getting this class.
Right. You have to get accepted to an AP course.
You have to get accepted into AP. That's a very exclusive little course. It's not like we're gonna brainwash all the America's children. Like, bro, it's an AP course. It's an elected AP course. It's not like it's a mandatory one. If you take advanced AP history, you automatically, if you take AP history in a junior year, you automatically have to take AP African American Studies senior year. No, it's still an elective. It's just such a grenade to kill a fly activity. Like, bro, you're doing
that's
too much.
That's a perfect metaphor. Yeah, it is. Like I'm like,
you got the fly. You got him. I'm not going. You got him. You got the fly.
And obviously with me, like I would be, even though I'm an independent, right? I do have more conservative leanings, right? But even I can recognize that at the end of the day, because I'm also a little bit of a history buff, at the end of the day, at least cover these things. Well, number one, like you mentioned, you can choose to take this course. It's not a requirement. Number one, it's not a requirement. Just literally looking at it objectively, regardless of where you stand, right? Look at it objectively. It's a course that you can elect to take. You don't have to take it. It's not required. And number two, if you're going to take the course and obviously teach and instruct the course, as long as it covers Black history in its entirety, I don't see an issue with that. Like, why would anyone see an issue with that? You're literally covering events, right? Literally covering events and you're expounding.
You asking why? Why would they see issue
No,
with it?
I know. I'm not asking
that's
why there's an
rhetorical.
issue
It's
with it.
rhetorical.
Yeah, it's a rhetorical question.
Rhetorical.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
we know why, but it's a rhetorical question for the
Yeah.
audience. Like, come on, bro. If we're gonna be in the name of objectivity, like, come on, bro. Like, you're just covering a bunch of subjects. But we know what the game is. We know how.
But they're gonna move the goalposts. They're gonna move the goalposts every time.
Absolutely,
So,
absolutely. Yeah, that's a fact. Yeah.
Sometimes we
That's just
take
what's
we take a little bit that we can get, you know what I mean, and move and keep chugging along and fight that battle on another day. And meanwhile, U.S. fighter jets shot down a suspected Chinese spy balloon that had drifted across the United States for several days. They shot it down on Saturday, bringing an end to the opening chapter of a tense public standoff with Beijing
Hold
over
on,
the
before you
intrusion into
continue,
US
yo,
airspace.
the reason why I'm laughing is because China really think they slick.
But oh my god, like slick. That's not even. Come on, how is that? That's not even attempting to be slick. It's a whole ass big ass balloon
yeah,
flying in low altitude.
yeah,
That's
but
not
it's,
slick.
but this is the reason why.
That's
But the
not
reason why,
slick.
but the reason why I'm saying this is because it's like China's one of those guys that like can see other nations fighting each other or beefing with each other, like U.S. and Russia, and be like, you know what? I'm gonna sit back here and I'm gonna take advantage of them being distracted and see, and I'm just gonna throw stuff out there just to see if they even notice it, just to gauge the situational awareness and act like we don't have our fingers on this. That's how I see China.
Kind of test the waters.
Yeah,
test the waters a little bit.
Yeah, just to kind of
are they still paying attention? Are
Yeah,
they still paying attention? There's still a balloon over there. I'm like, maybe we can invade North America right now.
They're
but
like they're sneaky. They're like that sneaky cousin. They just be doing stuff like,
no,
what are you doing, bro? You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you doing, bro? Like, I can see you. I can see you on your tippy toes. Like the Pink Panther
get ready to pounce
in the corner. I can see you, bro. Like, yeah.
Now I'll say this. Like, I think it's in China's best interest to see that, like, yo, it's a lot to be the I don't know if they really want these problems, but it's a lot to be the quote unquote world's greatest power, right? Because you always got to have your freaking fingers and all these different freaking pots of shit that's going on. When they beefing over there about something, we got when they know, whether if it's Israel and Palestine, we gotta have a presence there. Whether if it's Russia, Ukraine, we gotta have a presence over there.
Absolutely.
So it's always like,
I mean, that's what they're doing. That's what they're trying to establish.
Greatest power, quote unquote, in Africa. You know what I mean? So it's like, dude, China, do y'all really want to have to placate all these parties and do all these treaties to make sure that like the agreements are going, smoothly across the globe? Like that joint is a lot. And so for the US to be spread thin like that, and especially when we had like Iraq and Afghanistan war going at the same time, it's like, you kind of spread thin. This is what kind of helped China rise to the level that they're at now and competitively. We haven't had to be in a direct war with them or anything like that, but there's always been a consumer war. There's always been a sort of capitalist war, and they're not capitalists. Well, they are capitalists. The thing is, they turned capitalism to their own benefit by still maintaining their communist system by just saying, okay, well, it's still going to be the state that's in charge of everything, but we're going to use their system that they set up to exploit them. This is why they own so much of our debt as a country. This is why all of our stuff is manufactured over there, because they want stuff. And, we got slave labor over here. So fuck it. We're going to make this money off of these idiots. And we're going to make it cheaper for them. They can't even build companies and factories over there anymore because they're not going to be able to compete with our slave labor over here or with our cheap labor over here. Right. So they're just exploiting our capital, and we just go along with it. We buy all our stuff from Walmart, all our stuff from Amazon, and we just want it cheaper. We want it faster. You know what I mean? And we really don't care about like authentic craftsmanship anymore like that. Convenience, price, and convenience. And so China, if it's in their best interest for them, they love seeing us spread thin. They love seeing us doing all this other stuff. So for them to be specifically throwing a balloon over here, just go spy on us. I don't know if they would really be that blatant in their thing. I think when you talk about Pink Panther is not blatant with it. He's sneaky.
You're right. Yeah,
you know what I mean? He's clandestine. Right.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so finally the balloon was actually shot down off the coast of South Carolina. This was 2:30 p.m. on Saturday midday. People got videos of this. They're seeing it from their backyards. You know, they could see if they have a beach house, they could see it being shot down. There were some fighter pilots that went up there and shot the thing down. And officials confirmed that to CBS News and a bunch of other outlets. A senior defense official said that an F-22 dispatched out of Langley Air Force Base took down the balloon with a single air-to-air missile. So,
F-22s.
I'm not giving out. I'm not giving out any. I don't think I'm giving out any trade secrets here, but like I think I think some of these fighter pilots be looking for a reason. Like they've been looking for a reason. But they don't like these fighter pilots. Like we talk about that movie Maverick.
They got nothing.
You know how many? I could imagine. All they do is train.
That's all they do.
All they do is train. When the last time we've been in like air-to-air combat?
Yeah.
Air-to-air combat, like that, like the freaking movie Maverick.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like we haven't done that in a while. These guys have done. All they doing is training. So they looking
for sure.
They looking to pop off.
Oh, absolutely.
They looking to pop off on something.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So like this was their chance to actually let loose on some like live fire.
Live target.
You know what I mean? Live fire. You know, live target. You know, and specifically an enemy target. You know, or competitor target. I don't think they ever really they don't ever classify China as an enemy target. They always say competitor, right? Like that. Because they don't want to make it sound like they're like at some kind of like Cold War. You could hear it. Next time you hear like the administration or anybody talk about China, they'll Well, you know what? Maybe the Republicans do. I'm not sure. I don't know if they call them the enemy. They might say it, but like you'll never see Biden say China's our enemy.
I always hear economic competitor. Bad guy. Yeah, I always hear economic competitor. That's what I always hear. Yeah.
Yep. They'll say that. Yeah. They'll say that. They'll say competitor. You know, they'll find a way to massage it like that, but they'll never use the word like enemy, right? So here's what particularly the thing that I wanted to talk about this for is because I'm hearing some things I'm seeing some stuff online, and I'm hearing from some conservatives. It's like, bro, y'all really don't care about this. Y'all act like y'all care, but y'all really don't care about this. And also, you're doing the whole Monday morning quarterback thing. You don't know. You're a civilian. You've never served. You don't serve now, and like you're just going by this whole like, oh, Monday morning quarterback, and it's like, oh, you watch the game on Sunday, and you're like, oh, the coach should have called this, or the quarterback should have threw it there. You know what I mean? Or this should have happened that. You know what I mean? Because like you have you're fucking Captain Hindsight is who you are. You know what I mean? Like after the fact, you're like, bruh.
Absolutely.
First of all, better believe they saw this thing when it first crossed over Alaska.
Of course.
Okay. Cross over Alaska, they see it coming, right? They see this thing, they're like, first of all, they're identifying what is it, you know what I mean? Where's it from? And what is it doing? And what does it look like? Right? So that takes some time. So by that time, it does follow the jet stream. If you look at the map, it's following the jet stream. So the Chinese people say that, hey, it's a rogue balloon. It got caught up in the jet stream, right? Now, personally, I think that they meant to send that thing higher. You know what I mean? And it would have been above the jet stream, and it could have like spied on but nigga, they got satellites anyways. They've been spying. Yeah, they got satellites. Okay, in space. Absolutely. So this weather balloon is low tech, right? Either way, either way, they got the balloon. It went over Alaska, and then it went over Canada, and Canada and the U.S. were monitoring it. They were just monitoring, like, yo, there's this wild thing. Oh, we identified some China. It's got Chinese inscription on it. All right, and so let's evaluate, right? So these conservatives talking about, oh, Biden should have took it down. Why did he take so long? His was over Montana. Like the administration is weak and all this yada yada yada. You really think these generals wasn't already assessing this and giving him a list of fucking options?
Of course they were, yeah.
You think it all comes down to just Biden being like, oh, I don't know, let's keep it there. I don't want any beef.
Yeah.
Is that what you? Y'all can't
ridiculous.
truly believe that that's the thin level of analysis that any president, regardless of who he is, no matter how incompetent he was, that's the level of all hands on deck that happened with the entire government. Because it's not Biden that even found it. Biden got briefed about it probably like a day later after they were tracking. Let's track it for 24 hours to see if it's an actual thing. And then they're like, you know what? It's still here. Boom. Let's talk to the big guy. Or something like that, bro. You can't be like, oh, why didn't he Ben shoot it down? Nigga, of course that's what the first thing a civilian would think. Just shoot it down.
Yeah.
But guess what? The surveillance equipment, it also has, first of all, it has solar panels on there, like giant solar panels to power all the equipment that it's hauling.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
The balloon is holding everything up. It's got like a structure. And then the structure has surveillance equipment on it, and then out to the side on that equipment is solar panels to power the equipment. That's this, and it turns out that the U.S. declared. I guess they called it. They said there definitely were surveillance equipment on there, right? Chinese were saying this is just a weather balloon. It's for a private company in China, and they were just part of the thing they do is monitor the weather, and this is one of their weather balloons, right? But the U.S. was like, they did their assessment. They're like, yo, this thing is full of surveillance equipment. Okay, so first of all, to y'all civilians out there, they can tell what's in there, and they can jam whatever fucking signal is coming and going out of that thing. Okay, so they can do that in real time, right? Especially if this is something that is like low Earth orbit. Like this is low orbit. We can see it from our houses. People are taking pictures of this thing with their cell phones. Okay, so they can jam that shit, right?
Okay.
That's how close people. I'm telling you on Twitter, people on Twitter are like, oh, there it is. They saw the fighter pilot, the F-22 take it out. They have it on YouTube, right? On Twitter. So it's like, okay. So you think that we're just letting this thing fly, and then when you look at the trajectory, there's like a lot of bases, in the Northeast. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of bases in the Northeast that like was like some secure facilities that we don't want to, give any more information to. So it's like those bases themselves. So anyways,
this is so wild, because regardless if they're a private company in China is a communist government. They can seize that private company and look at whatever is.
This is why TikTok is a problem. TikTok is a problem, by the way. It's going to be a problem. Matter of fact, the federal government banned TikTok on all government phones.
I've been following some
devices.
Yeah, I've been following some of that talk on C-SPAN, and I've seen some articles about that too. I was like, oh, TikTok about to shut it down for real,
bro. I'm sure the military, the leadership sent the memo out to all of the bases that goes in the trajectory of this balloon to be like, all right, we gotta send some planes up, that to jam this thing when it flies over a 20-mile radius or 100-mile radius of your base. Or, they might have some system, I don't know, this is just me speculating, with on the base itself that throws up some kind of like a signal jammer that covers the base, almost like a little dome kind of thing. But bro, Joe Biden is not casually letting a Chinese balloon spy on America for like half the whole freaking country. Like that thing went half the whole country. They shot it down off the coast of freaking Myrtle Beach. It was in Montana, Montana and Canada and Alaska. You know what I mean? So it's like,
do you really think? I'm gonna pose this to you. Do you really think these Republicans don't know that, or they're just looking for an opportunity to be petty?
I'm not talking about Republicans. I'm talking about conservatives. I'm talking about these people.
I'm talking about these politicians.
These politicians know better.
Yeah, of course they do. I'm saying like those who have been criticizing Biden, don't you think they know these points
No,
that
no,
you're
no, no, no.
making?
I think some of these. I'm talking about the constituents. I think the constituents. I think the constituents truly believe this. They truly believe that Biden
Okay,
was
if it's
just
the
being
if
incompetent.
it's the constituents, I
about this
agree.
whole
If
thing.
it's constituents, yeah, you're probably right about
I'm
that.
talking about the constituents.
Yeah.
Right. And here's the thing. Here's the thing.
Uh-huh.
There were three
Mhm.
Chinese balloons over U.S. During the Trump administration. And we ain't hear a fucking peep. We didn't hear a fucking peep.
That's true, because
it was not a big deal.
I didn't hear anything about that.
You didn't hear anything about it. It was not a big deal. Because it's like, we'll monitor it, we'll take care of it, we'll take it down.
Mm-hmm.
And boom. And by the way, when they take it down, they took it off the coast of Atlanta, of the Atlantic Ocean, and they have a bunch of they have some Navy ships and some Coast Guard, because they shot it down within 6 miles of the, and and one of the ships that they send has a crane on it. So the crane is gonna be able to like scoop the stuff up, and freaking we can investigate their whole freaking equipment and see what they got. That's, hey, y'all bad. Y'all shouldn't have let y'all freaking balloon get loose. Turns out, now we know what y'all up to. Now we know what y'all equipment look like. Now we know what kind of technology. Oh, snap. Look at this new chip. This microchip. We ain't even got these yet. We got them now, though. Yep. You know what I'm saying? Yo, take this and freaking reverse engineer this, my G. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
that's absolutely what's going to happen.
And it fell off in the water. So guess what? Nobody on the ground got hurt. But y'all are like, oh, shoot it down. He should have shot it down. Biden's weak. He didn't shoot it down. They're spying on us. Man, nobody care about what the hell you got going on with that hog in the backyard. I know what you got going on with that hog in that backyard. I know what you got going on with that hog in the backyard.
We have an idea.
All right, but we ain't gonna put your business out there on blast.
Yeah, we have
right?
an idea.
You know what I mean? But leave that hog alone, goddammit. Leave that hog alone. He's squealing because he like it. No, goddamn, that hog don't like it. All right, that's a no. You're not getting an affirmative yes from that hog. Stop it. All right. And put the goddamn Fox News away and the goddamn what is it, OAN and all these Newsmaxes. They got y'all down this rabbit hole that got y'all losing your minds. Y'all not even questioning yourselves anymore. I don't question anything anymore. What you read, right?
I don't
question everything
anymore.
From wherever you get these sources, just question it. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, for sure. I got you. Yeah.
So that's the deal with China. The next thing is this guy, George Santos, man. Your guy. Your man.
My guy. That ain't my guy. He is a wild boy.
Oh my God, that's a wild boy. So here's a list. Here's a list of what this dude has been up to. So remember I told you the first time you heard about him, when I told you about him, I was like, that boy said he's Jewish, right? And you was like, yo, what's wrong with him saying he's Jewish? And I was like, no. He was telling his staffers that, guys, you know, I said I'm Jew. I'm not a Jew. I'm Jewish, as in my mom was Jew. Like, dog, that boy there has been like on some wild claims, right?
Yo, right then and there, I would have been like, all right, man, I'm out, man. I'm out, man. Like,
see me, dog. Like, I got this thing.
Yes, like, yeah. I'm out, man.
How you still working for this dude? How you still on this dude's campaign and his freaking staff? Okay, so here's a rundown of all the shit that we know so far, right? And this was of last week, because this article is from last week. And again, I'm reading from slate.com, so you can look it up. So number one, graduating from Baruch College. So this is supposedly a high-end economic and finance institution in New York. He never graduated from there. Matter of fact, he never graduated college at all, right? Next thing, having Jewish grandparents. He said that his parents were survivors of the Holocaust as Ukrainian Jewish refugees, but they did a study on his heritage, and turns out he's just Brazilian. Brazilian is fine. Brazilian are great people, but you're not Jewish. Why are you claiming you're Jewish, right? He claimed his, and so I'm like, okay, maybe I can forgive him for that. You know, maybe his mother married into it, and his mom was Jewish. But turns out because he claims his mom was Jewish, right? Is Jewish. They did a search of, you leave it to the internet, they're gonna find out. You ain't gonna get nothing past the internet. All right. So the internet went to work and found her Facebook, and she is always posting Christian iconography, Jesus on the cross type thing, and liking Christian pages and things of that nature. So is she Jewish? I don't know, right? But hey, I'm gonna let the Jewish people handle that one. You know what I mean? Get her, right? Get him.
Yep.
All right. The losing employees in the Pulse nightclub. So this was a shooting in Orlando, Florida. All right, it's a gay nightclub, and he said he had employees that went to the nightclub that died there. But according to several people, the Times found that none of the 49 victims appear to have worked at various firms that Santos name dropped, right? So he said, I work here, here, and here, and I've owned this, that organization. And they looked up the names of the 49 people. That was a gruesome mass shooting, man.
How did they
49 people?
How did they acquire this information as far as everyone's?
But the 49 people are listed.
Yeah. Okay.
You can find. You can look up. You can
but
look
I was
up
just wondering, how
employee.
Oh well, yeah, you can by social security number and all that stuff. Okay, yeah.
Well, I don't know if they have the people's socials and stuff like that, but you can look up when you look up if it's a public company or if it's a nonprofit organization, you can look up their staff. You can look up the board and all that stuff, right?
Okay, that's fair.
Right, especially if you're if you're in a news, what they call these people? These news people. I can't remember the term. But if you're in media, you can do a FOIA request, right, to the state if it's licensed in that state as a business, and you can get the list of employees probably, right? And so they looked up the 49 people, and none of them had any ties to the businesses that Santos claimed to have run or organization he claims to have run. There's another one. He lied about running an animal charity. There's this veteran, right? He's in the news still. He's been doing some interviews, and he's actually sounding pretty good these days from how I heard the story was in the past when the Santos raised something like $3,000 for this veteran's support animal. Okay. So now you're fucking with dogs and you're fucking with veterans, right? And you're calling yourself a charity. He raised this money supposedly to help the dog get the surgery, right? For this cancer, the diagnosis that this dog had, because it's a support animal for the veteran. And mind you, this is a homeless veteran as well. And the dude just stole the money. And the dog never got the surgery, and the dog died. He just took the money. There's a lot of details into that whole thing. That's a whole wild story right now. That whole
so weird.
Animal charity thing. But he lied about that as well. Yeah. Even and this was in the past. This was before he even was in office. This is in the past. He did this in his past. He is currently they have reopened an investigation in Brazil. When he was younger, he stole a checkbook and he wrote fraudulent checks, right? And so he was scamming since Brazil. So now he's got international police chasing him, right? This dude lied about that. And another one is he lied about is working at Citigroup, right? Working at Citigroup. Okay, so I worked for so he said he worked at Citigroup. So here's how he worked at Citigroup. I used to work at this financial firm that had a complex, right? And there's certain, there's certain facilities in the different complex. One has a gym, one has a cafeteria, one has a cafe, one has a coffee shop, and the different buildings, you can circulate throughout the complex to, and these things are there's vendors that provide, so if I want breakfast, in the morning, I come in early, I go down to the cafeteria there, and they have, different vendors there. You can get a short order breakfast order, or you can get a bagel, whatever you want, these little things that's sit out in the little cafeteria. Now I worked at the financial firm. My paycheck came from that financial institution.
Okay.
So imagine somebody who's working in that cafe at the Starbucks,
Okay.
saying they work for Citigroup,
No, that
the bank,
at best that makes you a subcontractor. That's not even.
the bank.
That's
That
crazy.
dude said he worked at Citigroup and he was
That's crazy.
working as just like a barista or something like that.
Yeah.
And shout outs to them, but like just claim that. If that's what you're gonna do, claim that. I used to work at Outback Steakhouse. I would claim that. That's where I used to work. I'm not gonna say, you know what I mean, like I was, part of the real estate organization that built on the property that was this Outback Steakhouse making sense on.
Yeah. But it doesn't work for. It doesn't work for him and his cachet to say that I worked at this. I worked as like a basically a sub in this larger bank. It doesn't work for his cachet. So why would he say that?
So
Because
let's go ahead and lie about it.
Because I think he worked for them. He worked for them. He worked for them in a roundabout way, not directly, but he started them.
Yo, if that's what you put on your resume, bruh. If so, that will be, bro, I'm telling you, I need this white avatar. I need the George Santos upgrade. Yeah. I need that upgrade, bro. So I could be like, I'm just going to be exclusively working from home and I'm going to have a George Santos avatar. They're going to be like, yeah, he works for us. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because, bro, he's getting more and more jobs, more and more opportunities. This dude is in Congress now.
That's like if you. That's
what failing up. That's what failing up looks like.
Absolutely. That's like if you're like interviewing for a position and like you're in front of a panel and they're like, "Oh, it says you work for this company A," and say that was your position, like you were like working at a barista, but you were like working adjacent because you were in a building. You were in the same building, but you work for a company. And the way you respond to the question would be like,
You got it. You got the job. Damn it. That's great. Great answer. The
guy at the end, like, and this one makes it even worse. Like, say everybody on the panel is like, "Oh man, that's awesome," and the one guy at the end is like, "Are you guys kidding me?"
That one dentist. That's that one dentist. They're like, bruh, we should not be giving people cyanide in their toothpaste. I'm just saying. Yeah, we should. Their teeth gonna be hella white. I'm not gonna lie. It's gonna be hella, but that's all that's gonna be left of them. So
all the other scientists are like, "No, we should do this." And this one guy's like, "What are we talking about here?
What are we even talking about here?" Exactly. So here's another lie: owning rental property. Right? He claimed he was a landlord. Right, but he did not list any properties on all of his required financial forms. So what's the properties, bro? You own these properties. And then there's a Devolder organization, right? So this is supposedly his family's firm that has like a $80 million valuation. And so that's not a thing. It's just not a real entity at all. Then he was also part of a Ponzi scheme back in the day. He wasn't running that one or anything like that, but he was a member of this Ponzi scheme. So we can't chalk that up to him specifically, but of course we could see the rest of your trajectory because with all this stuff, the Ponzi scheme thing got you, right? So if that wasn't enough, so now he's being credibly accused of sexual harassment from a potential staffer, this guy Derek Myers, who published his letter on Twitter. He sent this letter to the House Ethics Committee, right? And in the letter, right, he says that that Santos, he was like in some like one-on-one meeting with Santos, and Santos was like, "Hey, come over and sit on the couch with me," right? So he's like it's a small couch, you know. So okay, I'm sitting on the couch with him. And then he just starts chit-chatting with him, like being all casual, like, right? And then he goes, allegedly, by the way, all of this is allegedly, this is what Myers is saying, is that, hey, do you have the Grindr app? Santos is asking him this, the Grindr. And so Grindr is like known as a LGBTQ social network app, right? It's a dating app for gay folks, right? Okay. And so Santos, who is it was questionable before whether we're like, oh, is he gay? He claims he's gay. He's supposed to be like this unicorn of a Republican. You know what I mean? He's Jewish. He's gay. You know, he's a minority. He's a Brazilian Jew or something. So he's supposed to be like this unicorn for Republicans. So of course they fell in love because he checked up all of the freaking the social check boxes. He's asking this guy, and then he's like, well, I don't really need that anymore because I have a boyfriend or something like that, right? And then Santos allegedly put his hand on this dude's knee, right? And he's like, you know, he's like, what is it? He insisted that he sits next to him. The Congressman Myers said, put his hand on his knee and asked if he wanted to go out for karaoke. Myers, he declined, whereupon Santos moved his hand to Myers' inner thigh and groin. Right. So Myers says that that what DeSantos said to him was, my husband is out of town tonight if you want to come over. And so he said he pushed his hands off of him and just got the fuck up out of Dodge. So he published this, like he's going like, okay, and I get it. People will be like, oh, but what if he's out there for the money? When it's like, dude, the dude was working for Santos. All right. He was a true believer at this point. We knew all the crap. And this was him trying to get the job with Santos. All right. Matter of fact, he even said himself at the end when he didn't get the job, and Santos was like, oh, we can't give you this job because because this guy had some charges from Ohio where he had he recorded a like a court hearing. You're not supposed to record in the courtroom.
Okay.
Right. So he recorded, so he got charged for that. And so Santos was like, you know what? The whole recording charges thing, it doesn't really matter much to us, but it matters to the institution that you're trying to work for. And the guy was thinking to himself, he says here, wait, my thing in Ohio is a danger to the institution? You're George Santos. You are George Santos. Yeah. Like you are telling that I'm the danger to the institution. And so this dude is like still out here in Congress. There's only one party where somebody this fucking blatant with it can be elected, and that's the Republican Party. There's only one party. The Democrats are way too much of nerds to allow this person that's such an empty fucking suit to rise to the power of being a representative from any state.
He got a seat though.
He got the seat.
Just a reflection of American society, but it's a reflection of the types of people that we have in the United States that would justify someone like that to exist, and to literally have a congressional seat where he oversees hundreds of thousands of people, with this kind of a lifestyle that's like egregious on several fronts, And it's, I think it's funny when you mentioned this conversation with this guy that he had this whole situation with, by the guy saying like, you're saying that my thing in Ohio was it's not good for the institution. I'm gonna raise you one better. You are. You are the issue.
Your whole existence.
Your existence, you as a human being, is an affront to everything that is good and right about anything that is noble.
But dude, you was trying to work for him though.
But dude was, and that's what I was getting at, because I was like, what does it say about this guy who was trying to work for him though? You know what I'm saying? Like, because you have to kind of, and that's kind of how I was looking at it too. I was like, bro, like you were working for him though. You know what I'm saying? Like, this ain't, and I'm sure you probably seen, even in the time you try to work with, you probably seen similar activity with him with probably somebody else, and probably like, you know how you see something in passing, you're just kind of like, that's kind of weird, but you just kind of like, just let it go over your head and you just keep it moving. Because sometimes
Yeah, but the way
think,
he is like, dude, you're George Santos, it seems like it's not one of those things that's in passing. It's like he knows.
oh, he already
What
knew
up, fam?
who George
It's
Santos
Darwin, the guy that was just talking. First off, thanks for watching and supporting the show. But I gotta give y'all some homework. Your challenge, if you choose to accept it, is to interact with the show. That means 1, hitting that like button, because I know you like our stuff. 2, make sure you subscribe, so we can swim our way up your timeline whenever we drop new content. The third thing, please share the channel with your friends. Maybe they'll learn a thing about a thing or two. Oh, last thing, we're over here talking about what y'all talking about. So go ahead and carry that conversation on into the comments. We be up in there too.
So I don't know if you heard about this whole thing with Alec Baldwin. He was on a movie set.
Yeah, I'm familiar.
He was producing. He was a producer on the show, and he's also,
Mhm.
of course, the lead on it. It's kind of like
Mhm.
a little passion project, right?
Mhm.
It's called Rust. But shit went sideways when he pulled he was practicing for a scene, and he shot somebody on set, and she died. And
Yep.
this happened. When did this happen? A couple of months ago, and it's been a lot. It's all been under investigation. It's been dissected every other way by people asking all kinds of questions like, how could this happen? And so this was in Santa Fe. So the district attorney there actually just now filed charges, and so he's being charged with involuntary manslaughter. Now, oh man, I'm not gonna be able to lead and say in my judgment on it at the end of the day, what's going to happen. My future prediction is going to be he's going to be acquitted of these charges. This could be another one of those damn instances of like overcharging people because you really don't want to charge them. So you overcharge them so that you can't meet that burden. Hey, look, I tried. Hey, look at me. Hey, look at me. I tried.
It's negligence at the least though. I think he's gonna at least get that though.
Right, but I think but the thing is, I know gross negligence is a component. It's like a subcomponent of manslaughter. I don't know. I don't know if it's a standalone charge in and of itself. So we'll see. But either way, so what happened is there's a prop master and a like a armorer or an armorer, right? So
it's a firearm instructor on set too. He had a firearm instructor on set,
right? Well, I don't know if the instructors on set, because they do have the instructors on set.
I think it was like a weapons master or something on set.
Right, there's weapons master, but they're not. That's different from the instructor, right?
Okay.
They go to they have instructors come for the training, right? They have them come for the training, but they might not necessarily be there for all the shoots.
The actual got you.
The actual movie shoots, right? The camera shoots, and so turns out the person who was the prop director, and she was also the assistant weapons master, right? And so she was kind of stretched thin, but also she has no real resume. Her dad has been in the industry, and it's kind of one of those nepotism things, right? And so a lot of Hollywood is like that. I'm crazy. I'm surprised.
That's very true.
Yeah, I'm surprised at how much
like politics too.
Government is like that.
A lot of government.
How is it possible that you have 300 million plus people in a country, and the dad and the son became president in the 20th century? Like George Bush,
the legacy families,
like that's become president. Like
president.
And the other brother and his brother became governor of the whole state. Almost became president. If Trump never came along, he would have became president.
Yeah, Jeb Bush had a really good pull to get that role.
He was the governor of Florida, which is just as why DeSantis is not being propped up because of being a governor of Florida and some of these bellwether states. And so regardless of the nepotism, she was doing this job, or she was trying to do this job, as inexperienced as she was. But there's a lot of things that went wrong here, right? So apparently they have claims that Alec on the at the the time of the instructions
Mm-hmm.
was on his phone, not really paying attention, not really participating.
Stop the cap, bro. That's
They said they saw him doing that, right?
okay.
And so if he was properly paying attention in the course, then he would have known not to do some of the things that he fucking did with this accidental fire. There's nobody out there that thinks, yo, Alec Baldwin had it out for that lady, and this was his chance to shoot her.
Of course not.
In front of everybody. Nobody thinks
it's Alec Baldwin.
right?
Like, let's not do that.
Alec Baldwin.
Alec Baldwin, yeah.
But that's one mitigating circumstance that that's probably not good for his case. But also, for some reason, the weapons master, or whether she's being blamed for this, the weapons master assistant, the assistant weapons master, when she made an order, she placed an order for the props and all the equipment they're going to need for the thing. They accidentally sent her actual live rounds with her order of dummy rounds and blanks. So they spotted this. They knew this when the shipment came in. So they were aware. First of all, that shouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
So we're at a movie shoot. Why,
absolutely,
bro? You're sending us live rounds. So guess what? You ship that shit back. You ship back that shit, but they didn't do it. They still kept them. And then,
oh my goodness,
somehow on set, there's the table or wherever they load up all the props. On that table ended up some live rounds.
Yeah, I can see that happening.
That's another step of fucking like, how are these live rounds still around? Anyway, and then somebody loaded that weapon. The weapons master loads that weapon, and then so the weapons master loads the weapon, whatever weapon they had in their hand. Right? Yeah. Okay. Let me just say what happened.
So bad, bro.
Here's the thing too about these weapons is that there's plastic guns, just like straight replica.
Yeah.
We'll fix it in post.
Yes.
Right. But again, this is a passion project. It's low budget. You know what I mean? So they might not have the budget for post like that. But there's still replica weapons, replica guns.
Yeah, those prop guns. Yeah. What?
They wanted, because it's a historical kind of setting, they wanted something that looked more authentic, right? And so they got a replica of a gun that used to exist from back in the day. And matter of fact, it didn't even have a safety on it. So I think they put a safety on it. So it's a real gun. Because they wanted it to be that particular detail to be just right. All right. So this is the teaching moment that I prepared for our viewers. All right. So you have a couple options here with, even if you're going to be using a stunt gun, right? Or even if let's say it's a real gun, or even that replica gun, that's not the actual, it's a gun, but it's a replica of an original series.
Yes.
So even if you're using that gun, you have three options what to load up in there. You have a dummy round.
Yes.
Which is just a piece of plastic.
It literally looks different.
Literally
like
it's
this literally
one is blue.
Completely
it shows up. Right.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
It's blue. There's some that come in orange or just black.
Red. I have some in red. What does I have in red?
It's just plastic. You can it's a paperweight.
Yeah.
Not even,
you literally can feel it. You can see it. Yep. It's very obvious.
Right. So that's a dummy round. Right.
Yep.
Second option you have is a blank.
Yes.
And a blank is pretty much the back end, right, of a round, right? And what they do is they crimp the top part so there's no bullet that goes flying, right? They just crimp it, and there's still a charge. There's still charging powder in there. Yeah,
there's still powder. Yep.
And it makes the sound, and you kind of still see a little smoke comes out of it when it fires, right?
But there's no projectile.
And the clip comes out and everything, right? Yep. But there's no projectile because it's just crimped at the end. A full round actually has, if you can see,
it has the casing and the projectile.
It has the little tip part, a little bronze color thing at the tip, right? That's the thing that actually hits the target.
Yep.
This bottom part, we call that the spent casing. It spits
Yep.
out of the weapon.
That's where the gunpowder is in.
Right. That's why you're charging stuff. You got your pin strikes back here, and it causes the reaction, and it fires
strike a fire,
the round out of that, and that's what that looks like. How the fuck you put a live round and hand it to somebody and be like, yo,
and you call yourself a weapons master? That's crazy.
You call yourself a weapons master for
that's
this
crazy
movie.
Bro. That's crazy.
So, and they're being charged too, I think. But also, like, you're thinking Alec Baldwin is being charged. But again, you go back to, if he was paying attention in class, he would be like, he would know how to check his weapon, check the round, check what's in the chamber, if the chamber's clear, or check the magazine. Matter of fact, he should not even, they should give him a clear weapon.
Yeah. It
should be a clear weapon, slide to the back.
Entirely clear. Yep.
Slide to, well, actually, no, this might have been a 6-shooter. So either way, have the chamber open.
Yep.
Right? And so they let him put the dummy rounds in, or the blanks if you wanted the bang bangs, right? You put the blanks in there. But you give him this weapon, it's freaking live. And he's over here just like practicing his quick draw McGraw shit. And he's not okay, so this is where we take a break to see where else Alec Baldwin made a mistake. I think, you know what? No, I'm talking about this. I think I'm proving the case against Alec Baldwin. That nigga might get charged.
A little bit.
That nigga might get charged.
A little bit, yeah.
Charged, because if you know any of the safety rules, which I'm sure they went over in his class, they will tell you, don't put your freaking finger. Okay, so typical safety rules that all gun owners and anybody who's going to be operating a weapon, right, you should know, right? And they tell you this all the time.
Yeah,
everybody knows. So one, always keep your firearm pointed in a safe direction, right?
Yes.
Downrange, to the ground, right? Don't shoot up into the air, people, because bullets are affected by gravity as well. You freaking idiots. All right, so treat all firearms as if they were loaded. Alec, are you listening? Treat all firearms as if they were loaded, right? Keep your trigger finger outside of the guard and off of the trigger until you are ready to fire.
Yep.
Even if you're doing your freaking dumb practice joint, right? You know you got a real gun. Yeah, you might think you don't have real bullets in there, but still, right? You should be practicing that act. You should be practicing the proper use of that. Don't put your finger on the damn trigger. You're not supposed to do them damn kind of drills anyway. But he's acting. He's in a safe, controlled environment, or so he thinks. Don't put your finger in the goddamn trigger if you're not ready. Okay, so be certain of your target, your line of fire, and what lies beyond your target.
Yes.
Because, nigga, you ain't that nice with it.
You
all right?
Absolutely
You're not. You think you are?
Absolutely
You're not.
Yeah.
Are you nice? You're not. You're nice with it? You're not. You think you're nice with it? You're not.
And this is another thing. This is another thing. There are guys who are way nicer who make some of the dumbest mistakes.
Then you out there.
You
might go to the range once a year, or you might have gone to the range one time when you got your weapon the first time, and that's it. And now you think you're freaking out here, John Wick in it. You know what I'm saying? One shot kills and shit. Freaking bending it. Remember that movie? What's it called? Curve.
It's called Wanted.
Wanted. Yeah, with Angelina Jolie. I said he's curving that bullet. You out there thinking he's finna do some joint like that, my G.
Come on, bro.
Sir, I know you want to do this mass shooting. But I think your safety is on. Is what? That's big. You're not that nice with it. God damn it. You know,
I was wondering why I wasn't firing.
Thanks, civilian. Now you die. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But bruh, they even the nicest with it be like, yo, you gotta know what's beyond your target in case you miss.
Absolutely.
In case you miss. You know what I mean? Especially if you're trying to double tap or something like that. That second one, you know what I mean? That first one, maybe. You know what I mean? The first one, they take them down. So you double tapping because the first one probably didn't take him down. You probably should be wondering what happens in that first round.
Yeah.
This an idea.
Something to think about.
Where did that go?
Something to think about. Right? Yeah.
Oh no, it's not in my child's bedroom because I thought I was so nice with it, and now whatever. All right, and another one. There's several other auxiliary ones, but they say to wear eye protection and ear protection. Also, that should be loud. Okay,
It do.
so
That joint is loud.
if
It
you
really is.
popping off in your hallway or something like that, you're
Yeah.
gonna bust your eardrums. So that's why it's like, don't just fucking play around with this shit. Even shooting people that be shooting up for New Year's Eve, you know what I mean? Like they get the gruesome awakening, like, yo, this shit is loud in
Yeah.
my goddamn ear,
Mhm.
right? And so Alec Baldwin like failed on so many levels when it comes to the safety joint, but it's like, man, the prop master, you know, and the weapons master and the weapons master assistant like failed as well. I think a bunch of failures happened here. I think it was inadvertent. I don't think they tried to make any of this. I don't think they explicitly. I'm not saying killing, but like in terms of making it an unsafe work environment. I don't know if they tried to do that, but I think there might have been a couple misfires in a previous recording of the same movie. It didn't kill anybody, but it was some misfires. So maybe it was an unsafe environment. God damn it! I think, man, this nigga might get charged. This might lose.
Dang, so it was kind of, it sounded like a thing that was like essentially bound to happen because of just number one, obviously the missteps and not
all the missteps.
all the
missteps,
budget, the low budget, and the lack of training, obviously lack of training.
And matter of fact, it shot and killed this lady. She died later in the hospital. It actually traveled through her and hit one of the showrunners in the shoulder. He was like, "Oh, that was hot. I just felt something. What happened?" They look over and like, "Yo, this lady's on the ground now. What the hell?"
Wow.
You know what I mean? He got hit in the shoulder, so he had to, he was released. He went to the hospital and got, you know, I don't know if he got.
Yeah, he just got probably like it just brushed him.
Yeah, and then like,
got like a graze. To graze him.
But like, mommy's on the ground and they fly her out, and you know, she pronounced dead, and like Alec is devastated, and like, bro, guns are not fucking toys, man. And this is, bro, to even have the freaking live rounds on the set.
That doesn't make any sense to me. Like I don't understand that. Like it's like even like after your demonstration, like it's very, very evident. Like it's very clear. Like
but the thing is, they could have been maybe they wanted to use blanks. And the blanks, you know, it kind of could look like a round, you know what I mean? But like,
but the weight is different and the feel is different.
The weight is different, the feel is different. Yeah, it ain't shaped the same. Like you gotta know if it's crimped, you can see it if it's crimped at the end. And you still blew that. You know, and by the way, blanks themselves aren't completely safe either. You should not be pointing. Damn it, another public service announcement. You have blanks in your weapon. Don't think you just pointed at people. You're trying to run a prank on your friend or some shit and shooting blanks. Or if you're thinking maybe that's some kind of warning system, if they're close enough. There was another actor. This was, I think, in the 80s that had blanks in his prop gun. Right? It was a gun, but it was for the movie. But they had blanks in there. He put it to his head and he freaking killed himself because it was blanks in there. But that shit still comes out like a little bit of powder at rapid fire. And there still might be pieces of the freaking casing that come out with it. You know what I mean? Like the brass. So it's like, you thought it was a game. Don't play with guns, people. You know what I mean? And always follow the safety rules for that. For that thing. These things aren't toys, and take them seriously. The gun only has to be. Hey, I'm a gun owner, all right, and I take this shit seriously for my own safety and for my family safety. The gun only has to be right once.
Absolutely.
Pull that trigger. If you got one up in the chamber, that firing pin is working. Hey, I'm gonna function like I'm supposed to. That spring is lubricated. But you as a gun owner have to be right every single time. Every time you handle that weapon, even when that weapon is out of your sight, because there could be children around, or it could be in some place that's not secure and it could get stolen, and now it's being part. You have to
that's the whole thing
on
too.
your P's and Q's if you choose to own a weapon. So one, don't play with these damn things. Don't be doing no damn Alec Baldwin. You're freaking practicing your quick draw
while you're in the middle with other people standing around in the middle of
and check
a group of people.
Fucking weapons. Assume every weapon that you see that's in your presence, even if it's yours, assume it's loaded. Even if you checked yesterday, check again today. You know, if you before you clean it, you have to go clean. I'm not, and don't check it every day.
Mhm.
Don't play with your guns. Also, people
Yeah.
because they have it, they want to see it all the time. They want to clean it and rub it and
Mhm.
load it and unload it and load it, unload it. Stop it.
Mhm.
Stop with the infatuation. All right, it's a tool for a specific purpose. All right, it's not a toy. So follow those rules, and you know, hopefully, some lives can be saved, and people won't be in the situation as Alec Baldwin is.
And really, I think people also need to understand, like, even with whatever firearms you have, understand your particular firearms to the T. Like, understand obviously how to use it, how to break it down, how to clean it, how it works, how it functions. Like, really understand it in and out, so that
wait, this thing misfired. Well, I wonder why. And you're like, I wonder why.
Right, you know what I'm saying? Like, like it's like no, like understand it in and out, so that even if you're blind, like you'd be able to like disassemble and assemble and function it. Even if you couldn't, like, you have to know it. You have to know it that well. That's every single. If even if it's a little deuce to like a 50, you know what I'm saying? Like, you have to know it. Like, you have to know it very well, because it's an object that can cause severe bodily harm, right? So a fatality. So like it behooves you legally and physically, as far as your health and the health of those around you, to really understand how to use those things. Like, you don't play with those, like, at all. At all. So like, you always got to be up on the law and understanding like what you have in your possession. Like,
but the thing is, the law is almost secondary when it comes to your you could be putting
that's a fact.
loved ones in danger.
That's a fact.
The law. I don't want my spouse or my children to, you know what I mean,
absolutely,
to be hurt by this thing. You know what I mean? The law gonna catch up with me, but like, it's gonna be worse, devastating for you when you're sitting in that cell knowing that you accidentally shot through a wall, you know, that killed your neighbor's kid.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, it's illegal in Maryland. I actually just discovered this, because I think it may have changed recently, but you have, even in your home, you can't have a loaded firearm. It has to be unloaded and in a locked container of some sort.
Maryland?
In Maryland, Maryland. I literally, and I heard this from a judge. In Maryland. Like, I was like, what? He was like, yeah, it has to be unloaded. It has to be unloaded in a locked container. He's like, especially if you have kids, like, by law. And I think it's a stipulation is with kids. Like, if you have kids, it has to be entirely unloaded in a locked container. I was like, dang, for real? So I recently, and I learned that like maybe like a month or so ago. And like, and I'm up on all the laws. Like, I don't play. Like, I'm straight in there. Like, I don't play with any of that stuff. So like, I was like, what? Okay, that's good to know. But yeah, like, it's like Maryland takes it that seriously. Like, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to that stuff. So like, yeah, but to your point, like you said, it almost comes secondary to like, you make a mistake. It can be inadvertent, but an inadvertent mistake can change your life forever. Can literally change your life forever. You know what I'm saying? So you got to be on point 100% of the time.
And even if whatever you did with your weapon, let's say you misfired somewhere and nobody died or anything like that, you're gonna get charged with something, and they're gonna go to court. You're gonna fight it. You're gonna win. Let's say, but that's gonna be like
gonna cost thousands of dollars,
$20,000 in lawyer fee and time. A year later,
you might even lose your job if your job finds out.
You know what I'm saying?
A lot
you've been acquitted, but like, you have to go through all that stuff. Just handle your weapon properly the first time. Put these practices into place the first time, and you can save yourself a world of hurt.
Absolutely.
So lessons learned from Alec Baldwin. The wise man, I forgot how that thing said. I don't know how that quote says, but a smart man learns from his mistakes. I think it goes something like that. And a wise man learns from the mistakes of others. All right. So I'm gonna credit that to an old great Darwin saying from centuries ago. It's been passed down to me spiritually.
I don't support that. I don't support.
You've never heard that before I said it today just now. Everybody out there,
the thoughts and opinions of the host are not expressed.
That of his own, right? This new RAYE album, RAYE, RAYE, My 21st Century Blues.
What kind of? Oh, I was going to ask, what kind of genre is that?
So here's the thing. She is. I guess you could call it. She makes great music. The thing is, I'm listening to her album, the past several days, and it's almost like a movie, right? I'm not saying there's this one album I listened to that was really like a movie. I'm actually gonna recommend that at some point. But this one, I mean the movie because it's so dramatic. The music is dramatic, you know. It's like earnest, you know what I mean? It's earnest. It's like she is bleeding her emotions onto the sheet music almost.
That's interesting.
But it's just a little weird that she calls it blues, you know what I mean? But I think she means blues almost in the sense of like sadness. So RAYE is more like a if you could mix like a Nina Simone with an Alicia Keys, right?
Yo, that's I don't see now you might be exaggerating, bro. That's
I'm not saying she's the I'm not saying
that's like Super Saiyan level 4. Like,
no. I'm not saying she's the embodiment of this.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But I'm like, if you like Nina Simone, if you like Alicia Keys, matter of fact, one of her the influences in her up and coming career is Jill Scott, you know, and Jill Scott is great at storytelling. She's great at setting a scene. You know what I mean? Like you feel like you're on that long walk with her. You know what I mean? You like
I see what you did there.
And so she does the dramatic thing with her. Matter of fact, she's a lyricist. She's
I
she
can
wrote
always
for
appreciate
Rihanna. She wrote for Beyonce.
Oh, so she was a ghostwriter for real.
Yeah, she's right. And so like she gets to do her own music now and stuff. But when you talk about transparency, here's the thing with this album. She's being very vulnerable. Yo, it's like she's writing about addiction. She's singing about insecurity, body dysmorphia, even sexual assault. This song is called Ice Cream Man. That's one particular song. And the song is a bop. It's a bop. You're like, okay. But then you listen to the lyrics, it's one of that juxtaposition type of thing where it's like,
I see
you
what
know
you're doing,
how they did with Pumped Up Kicks, that Pumped Up Kick song. Oh, the little kid with a pumped up. It's like it's such a little vibrant song, but it's about mass shooting. You know, and so a lot of there's several tracks that are like that, but overall the music and the background that plays in is just so dramatic, and it just sets up a whole scene for you, you know. And she does have elements of like some old school. She said she mentions that she was like on like exclusively listening to like old stuff, you know what I mean, like some older music to get inspired and to like set her up for this being her debut album. She's a British a British singer now, a songwriter, and she ended her contract with a previous record label, and so she's this is her new solo first thing. And she even had a feature with 070 Shakes 070 Shake, which is a British rapper singer kind of thing, which is dope. If I remember, do I remember the shake? Yeah, that's what it was. So listen to 070 Shake too. They make great music. But this album is gonna give you can tap your toe to it, you know what I mean? You could shake, you could shimmy your shoulder to it. You know what I mean? You could probably throw it back a little bit to it, but if you're not paying attention, you know, you realize there's a deeper message that's going on in what is going on in the artistry there. And I'm always appreciative of like artistic bodies of work. You know, like there's a meaning, it's well thought out, it's laid out properly and well, you know, there's an entire environment that you set when you do it, and it has one of those things that has a good intro. Right? It isn't the best intro. I'm talking about like that first track. Like, how do you start? Boom, this is how you start off an album. You know what I mean? Like that lets me know, like, oh, I need to sit up for this one. You know what I mean? Let me pay attention. And so this has a good start. It's a smooth start, but it's not very dramatic, but it's a smooth start, and it's a good start. It's not blues music. It's a little poppy, you know what I mean? But there's some jazz in there. But there's also old school elements that you'll find surprising that she sprinkles into the art. So
Okay.
definitely check out that album. One other thing, I'm just gonna make this quick mention. Also, another vibe is, man, I appreciate good TV shows, good series, and I'm also a gamer. I can see it in the back. You know what I mean? That Last of Us.
Yo, is it because first of all, the game is phenomenal. Like first of all, anyone that knows about. Okay, I'm gonna say this. I'm just gonna be a man about it.
Did you play out the entire game?
No, I didn't. I only played a little bit. But I just want to mention. I just want to mention this, that I mean, I have an Xbox Series X. My brother has a PS5. PS5s, they right now they hold the throne to the best single player games. They just got it.
Facts.
God of War, Red Dead. I mean, Red Dead now is on Xbox now too. But like, you know, God of War, obviously, Last of Us, Uncharted was one of those franchises that were amazing too. I mean, you know, I mean, it's just like PS5 got it right now. I give it to y'all. Last of Us though is insane. Like, it's a
movie. You're playing
it's literally and that's the reason why Uncharted series. That's the reason why that series was winning, because that series was a movie. Like it became a movie. It literally became a movie. Yeah. But like the way that the game was built, it was built like a movie. And like PS5 saw the success of Uncharted. I personally, I think Uncharted 4 was the best one. Because Uncharted 4 was amazing. If you haven't played it, it's amazing. But like, they saw the success of Uncharted, and they were like, "Yo, we can do this with God of War." God of War is starting to become like a movie. If you kind of can,
there's gonna be a God.
It's gonna be a movie. It's gonna be exactly. And obviously, you see Last of Us. You see HBO.
Now mind you, I love series more than movies, because you have way more time to develop a character.
Oh, absolutely.
But God of War is just so big, you got to make it a movie.
Oh yeah, God of War is gonna be you got
to make it a movie.
Yeah,
it's just so big.
Yeah, but just to kind of add on to your point, and I know you're gonna finish up your point with Last of Us, like, bro, if you haven't, I'm talking to all the people out there who are gamers. If you haven't played, if you're a gamer, you know about Last of Us. Like, let's keep it a beam. But like, we know how good
you gotta know about it.
Yeah, you gotta know about it. Like like, you know, like Last of Us is just, it's top tier to elite. Like, but yeah, I just want to say that because it's amazing how like games are now the better games are now becoming movies now.
Bro, they made a not Dungeons and Dragons. What was it? Dungeons? I think
Dungeons and Dragons
movie.
Yeah, they just
made a movie for that.
Yep.
You know, so they freaking what you call it, had a movie, Doom.
Doom.
With Rock. I think Rock.
Yeah, with the Rock. Yeah.
So like some of these things are being adapted, you know, to big screen.
Resident Evil.
Resident Evil.
Yep.
Right. You know, these things are being adapted in or adopted for the big screen, and they're, or even here in the small screen with Fallout. Not Fallout. Which is another great game I love.
Yeah, Fallout's another good one.
But
yeah,
I could see Fallout being a series. I could totally see Fallout being a series, and Fallout would be a comedy, like a dramatic comedy, I think. But give me my damn 10% when y'all come up with this.
Big facts.
Yeah, Last of Us though is.
Yeah, I didn't know the series was gonna be like that though.
I love the way, bro. And if you and I played all of them, so it's like,
so you really know? Okay.
They like got some elements that are, man. Like, that's from the game. That's from the game. Yeah. They did it for the gamers. But even though the Last of Us storyline was already great just in the game, they got some permissions to, for the bigger picture, create some.
They dramatized it a bit more.
Other dramatizations. They added a couple of things that weren't part of the game, but even those things, don't stray away from the path of. They don't stray away from the path of the game. You know.
Well, that's good.
I'll say this. I think it's a great show. If you're looking for the drama, if you're looking for suspense, it's a bit of a thriller as well. If you're there for the art, it's an amazing first 3 episodes. I almost don't want to watch anymore so I can let it build up so that I can binge it. Right? I'm like, okay, it's good. This is good. I've seen enough. Because now it's got me on the bro. I can't. Oh man, what's gonna happen next week?
Now you feeling it. You
What's gonna happen? You know what I mean? No, I'm just like, you know what? Let me just cancel it for myself. I'm not gonna watch anymore. I'll just get on some other stuff. You know what I mean? Maybe I'm still on this God of War.
You know, I kind of want to wait on it a little bit. Then that's the case.
Yeah, to get all of them.
I kind of want to wait on it. Yeah, to get all of them. Yep.
But with the damn social media these days, they be
everybody gonna be swollen.
Everybody be on it and stuff like that. So
especially if it's a popping show, it's gonna be everywhere.
Yeah, so I don't know, but you know, I might just get some pressure. I'm just gonna have to, you know, I'm gonna check out this episode, or maybe I could do it like a couple episodes at a time. You know what I mean? I'll just let a couple episodes build up in the stash, and then I'll just watch 2 back-to-back ones or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. So check out RAYE's album, My 21st Century Blues, The Last of Us, and who did you have there?
Andy Mineo, Neverland 2. Check it out. Just a quick update on that. Yeah, the first one, Neverland, came out 2014. I didn't realize it was that old.
Oh, okay.
But Neverland 2 is the one that I was talking about. That came out 2021. That joint is fire.
Right on. So so we got the socials. Jeff, tell them where they can find us, and then we can get up out of here.
Yeah. You guys can find us, man, at on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. YouTube for sure.
The main space.
The main joy. Yeah. That's where you can find our full live video for it. So definitely check us out. It's at Another Challenge Day on all those streams. At Another Challenge Day.
Make sure you like and subscribe. You be watching. We see you watching.
Yes.
And we see
all you ninja watchers.
Yeah, but go ahead and hit the like button. While you're there. You know what I mean? Share with your friends.
Yep. For sure. Yeah, man. Just check us out, man. Give us a look, man. Get this game because you need it.
Yeah, especially you weapons handlers out there.
Yeah, facts.
Right? Step it up, and you customer service people out there. I ain't forget about you either. Right? I'm on to you. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
So that's it. We did it. Another one in the books. Mission accomplished.
Absolutely. See you guys next week.
It's challenge day.